Hey, Corey with Creative Habitats. Let me go over a couple of my ideas with you. So I toned down my original design to something as simple as this is a taller growing butterfly bush that's been tree formed and underplanting of drift roses. These are semi-evergreen, and there you see them again over here. Accent of daylilies, and then I've got a couple suggestions for what this could be. In the program, it put this bigger than what I would actually want to see. But one suggestion is a tulip tree, Magnolia Salangiana, Japanese magnolia. It's got about three different names. Rarely do I see them this big. I have seen them this big, though, in many houses in Atlanta, Birmingham, and they do very, very well in a location like that. Here's another option for that corner planting, treeform ligustrum. Here's another option, Zujau loropetalum. And lastly, the other one was a Chionanthus tree. And there's still a lot of other plants that will do well there, but those are a couple that came across my mind originally. Now, one of the things I noticed is your patio is very, very cramped, so I wanted to expand this space and make it more inviting. This is one of those ideas where we expand that space, going out into the yard. Maybe we accent it with some flagstone, do some creepable like blue star creeper or creeping thyme through there. I've added in a number of boulder accents through here, as well as a number of different flowering plants that attract bees, hummingbirds, and butterflies. When I say bees, a lot of people get anxious about that. The bees are interested in the plants. I've never had a situation where that has been a threat to people. And I'll give you another example in another plant that I'll tell you about in a little bit. If you wanted to go a little bit larger on the patio, this is just a rendering that shows you some options for that. A little bit larger and a little bit simpler, where we just have some monkey grass and then maybe an accent of black-eyed Susan in there. As we look to your backyard, the first thing that struck me was the addition of some larger trees and maybe some screening back here. And this is how the drawing turned out. And then we run it through our rendering program. What we have are some larger cypress in here, and I was strategic about that because most of your yard drains to this point in here. Again, I've repeated the whole concept of some boulders and really beautiful flowering plants in the background, some evergreens. And then I've got a couple choices of some plants over here that would also do well for you in that location. This shows this coming out a lot farther than it actually is. Most of this would be farther back by your fence, and it wouldn't eat up so much of your yard. That was one of the things that I thought you may ask me about. So the cypress, you draw your attention to the cypress and the native azaleas. This is cypress, and this is one of many different native azaleas. One of the neat things about native azaleas is it really does attract butterflies. This is Florida Flame right here, but great options for some flowering shrubs there. In this location, a couple of the flowering plants, black-eyed Susan, purple coneflower, gaillardia, bee balm, monarda. This is one, we've got it planted in our experimental gardens. It attracts bees like crazy. I can rub my hand all over this plant, never been an issue. Anise hyssop right here, also known as agastache. But all of these are really beautiful plants. This is catmint napata. All of these give you a lot of color. In the background, one of my thoughts on a good screening plant for cure is native yaupon, not dwarf yaupon, but native yaupon. Looks more like this. And it has a lot of berries on it that are great bird attractors. And then finally, on the edge, one of the options is Vitex. It too does a lot to attract cardinals, butterflies, and hummingbirds, and bees. But this is a plant that I literally have gone up to them this big. You hear them before you see them. Gone up, shaken this tree, never been an issue. This is another one, serviceberry. This is a summer bloomer. This is a spring bloomer. Blooms in the spring, great berries that turn to fruit, little tiny pea-sized fruit for the birds, and beautiful fall color on that. And then under planting it, this is one of many different options for down here. One of them would be Itea, and then there's some other things. Just a normal a azalea would also be well. So that's a tour of my ideas. Give me some feedback on it. I am happy to whatever your thoughts. I'm so blessed with the opportunity to be able to share ideas with you. Give me feedback, change it up however you want. Um, so thank you so much, Corey, with Creative Habitats.